Hey, how's it going? This is Melinda and welcome to my channel. Today, I am so excited to make this video because I have something extremely cool to show you. An amazing gift sent to me about the Beatles Butcher cover. To me, that is the most controversial vinyl moment of all time, the Beatles Butcher cover, and something very cool was sent my way, and I can't wait to show it to you, along with some other great records, some major shout outs for some other vinyl channels. And I need to do more of those because there's a few more people I really want to give shout outs to, and I will. So this is going to be a jam-packed video. If you're not a subscriber to my channel, please subscribe, hit the like button and the notification bell if you enjoy this video, because it would really mean a lot to me and it would help my channel to grow. So if you like the video, please help me out. Let's get started. First off, let me show you this really cool t-shirt, the In Groove. I see Mike from the In Groove wearing this t-shirt all the time. It cracks me up. I love it. His big old head right here. I had to have it. So I ordered it when I got another record that I had ordered from him. And they kindly sent this my way. Mike and Angel or whoever sent an extra shirt along with it. And I love this shirt too. I see them wearing these t-shirts all the time. And you know, you never know what quality you're going to get when you buy a concert t-shirt or order a shirt online. I can tell you these are super soft, high quality shirts. They feel really good on. They're not that little bit thicker, scratchier feel. They're very, very nice. So again, this shirt cracks me up. And I am going to leave a link below to Mike from the In Groove. There's probably no way you know my channel if you're not already subscribed to Mike, but I'll leave a link below just in case you aren't, because you're missing out on some really great content. So thanks again to Mike and Angel from the In Groove for sending this my way. This shirt, and as well as this extra shirt. I really love it. So now let's go ahead and get into the records. Let's start with the Beatles. We're going to end with a really cool Beatles, and very excited about this. First off, I now am the proud owner of the first pressing from the UK of Abbey Road. And, you know, a lot of people have talked about for a long time how great these UK first pressings are. A lot of people call them the definitive copies. And I was like, okay, but I have a lot of really great sounding Beatles records. I don't have to have a UK version, and nobody does. There are some really great versions of Abbey Road out there. You don't have to have the UK version. But I happened to stumble across a couple of years ago a first pressing stereo Sgt. Pepper. And the price was right on it, and it was in great condition. So I thought, you know what? I'm from the United States. When am I ever going to be able to own a UK version of a Beatles record? So I bought it. And I have some killer versions of Sgt. Pepper. Killer. But yet this UK version blew them away. Wow. It's so incredible. So then I became a believer in the first press UK versions. So Patrick, who has the channel called the Vinyl Archivist, he does live streams. He does a lot of really cool videos. He is an expert, in my opinion, of being able to read dead wax, tell you where a certain record was pressed, and telling you what the best pressing of records are. That's just a hobby of his. He knows his stuff and he's really good. He sold this beautiful copy of Abbey Road to me. He didn't have to do it. He didn't owe me anything. He does vinyl auctions on his YouTube channel, and you need to check those out. He sells some cool stuff. He could have sold this there, but I appreciate that he sold it to me. It came with the original black inner sleeve and the absolutely amazing record that plays beautifully and sounds great. I love it. So thank you so much to Patrick, the Vinyl Archivist. And I think he is an absolute record genius. I'm going to leave a link below so you can check out his channel. I, all the time, listen to his live streams. I love the conversations, the music they play. So I'm usually there in the peanut gallery listening in. Let's go ahead and move on to the next record. And this has something to do with another live stream Chance, who has the channel Concert Buddie. He makes regular videos like I do with great content. He's really good. But he also every once in a while will pop up with a live stream. And I was watching a live stream of his and he had some very cool guests. One of his guests was Jason Rojas. It's spelled Roxas. And I will leave a link below to Chance from Concert Buddie and to Jason Rojas down in the description so that you can check out their channels. Jason was showing this record, and of course I was immediately interested. I knew it existed, but I already have a German pressing, a US pressing, and a Japanese pressing of Van Halen's 1984. I really didn't think I needed this. It is a gold stamp promotional copy. It's going to be hard to see on here, but the promo stamp is on the front, which is very unusual, and it's a QX2 pressing. So it's a really great quality vinyl. And if you look up in and put it up to the light, it's one of those that's transparent and you can see through. And I am shocked at how great this sounds. Now, I'm not going to say that it's the ultimate version. Well, I will say, yes, this is the ultimate version, but there's a lot of great sounding pressings of 1984. The US pressing sounds great. Japanese, German, they're all really good. But wow, this one does take the cake. It's amazing. And I went ahead while watching that live stream and bought it just in the moment, a spur of the moment kind of purchase, because I already had a QX2 version of Donald Fagen's The Night Fly. And I've always thought this one sounded amazing. It's one of those two that my husband walked in the room. He doesn't really care about vinyl like I do. But he walked in the room, he's like, whoa, this record sounds really good. It was this. So I knew the QX2 records a lot of times, and it's a promotional copy as well. So I thought, okay, well, if the 1984 sounds as good as this Donald Fagen record, then it's worth having, and it is. So again, Chance from the Concert Buddie and Jason Rojas. I appreciate the live stream and the information, and I love that I now have this incredible record by Van Halen. The links are below so you can check out their channels as well. This is one that was really worth the wait. I had to wait over a year. I pre-ordered it. It finally came back in stock from Analog Productions. Cookin' with the Miles Davis Quintet. Absolutely killer record. It features My Funny Valentine. We have Miles Davis on the trumpet, Red Garland, one of my favorite pianists, John Coltrane on tenor, Paul Chambers on bass, Philly Joe Jones on drums. Sounds like a dream. It's wonderful. I'm so glad I waited for this pressing to finally come back in stock. And as soon as it was, they already had my pre-order. They sent it my way. So it was absolutely fantastic. And it always comes with a really cool anti-static inner sleeve. Here is another record that it's one of those, I was waiting for it to come back in stock so I could order it. I already have an original stereo version, but so many people that I watch on YouTube said this is the definitive copy, so I decided to buy it. This is Surrealistic Pillow by Jefferson Airplane. This is Mobile Fidelity's original master recording. It's in mono. Oh my goodness, this sounds so good. And it beats my stereo original. It's just so killer. And it's a great album anyway. My copy is number 5339. And wow, it is amazing. It is mastered by Krieg Wunderlich and assisted by Rob Laverde. So a very great mastering engineering combination there. And I really think that even though we all know this album, it's just not talked about enough. What great vocalists Grace Slick is and Marty Balin was. I think they have absolutely killer vocals and great songwriting by Marty Balin. First off, the second song on here is Somebody to Love, the ultimate classic by Jefferson Airplane. My Best Friend's a really cool song. We get into some really cool, it's kind of like this record is divided in two. We get the really cool garage rocky psychedelic in the beginning and in the end. And in between that is, there's a couple of ballads by Marty Balin that are absolutely beautiful, sound incredible on this pressing. His voice is so beautiful. Even my husband was like, yeah, this sounds really good. He was a great vocalist. I love Marty Balin, and I don't think he gets his due when it comes to singer, songwriter, vocals. He was absolutely fantastic. This album ends with The Killer Embryonic Journey, White Rabbit. The vocal performance of Grace Slick on that one is undeniable, and it sounds so good on this Mobile Fidelity version, along with Plastic, Fantastic Lover. Again, such a great record. I'm so happy now to have this version of it. And while I'm at it, I do want to show Marty Balin. This is my solo version of solo record I have of his. This came out in the 80s. I love the song Hearts. If you would just look it up, you'd probably know it. It's so beautiful. His vocals were so good. They were filled with emotion. If this guy hadn't just got his heart stomped on when he was singing the song Hearts, he's a very good actor because, wow, it's a heartbreak song. It's one of those when you know, have a breakup or you're heartbroken, you listen to and kind of dwell in your own misery kind of song. Really, really good. And he delivers all the emotions, a very unique vocal. And also, he sings the song Atlantic Lady. I believe that's what it's called. Yes. Now, the more common known phrases in the song is there's just something about you. There's just something about your love. And I can't sing, but he sure does. And it's such a good song. I always loved it when I was young. Love Marty Balin. And I just wanted to show this record. For one, Marty Balin was so talented. Jefferson Airplane, Jefferson Starship. It just, none of it would have been what it was without Marty Balin. And a little cool story about this record. I originally had this in my hands. I think I was going to pay $7 for it, along with a couple of other records, when I was at an unnamed record store. And I decided not to buy the other records, but I was going to buy this one for $7. And I think the record store owner was a little perturbed that I put a couple of things back and was only going to buy this record. I didn't have cash with me, so I was going to use my debit card. And I know they pay a little fee when someone has to use a card instead of cash. But you know what he did? He said, I can't really sell that to you because it's just not enough money. You need to pay cash for it, or I'm just not going to sell it to you. And it was just one of those moments where, like, okay, is this really happening? Did this guy really just say this? Because I should be able to buy anything I want for any amount of money with a debit card. I understand where he might be frustrated, but I was just absolutely shocked in the moment. He wouldn't sell this record to me because I didn't have cash. He wouldn't accept a debit card for a $7 purchase. Now, I'm not saying it's ideal. Yeah, it would have been better if I had cash, but sometimes you just don't have it. I just didn't have it. I don't carry a ton of cash on me ever. So I put it back. He let me put it back. And I had bought a ton of records from him in the past. And I haven't been back since he did that to me. So it wasn't a couple of weeks later, I found this record for $2 at an antique store. So, to the person who wouldn't sell me this record, and I'm just having a little fun here. I have it anyway. So, anyway, that was just a fun little story. Let's talk about what I think is the most important part of this video, a very cool Beatles Butcher find. This was given to me as a gift from a viewer of the channel, and this person sells vinyl and has a huge collection of his own. He also delves and sells memorabilia, music memorabilia. So he knows what he's talking about, but he wishes to remain unnamed, and I will respect that. So, what happened to him and the story he shared, and I hope I get it right. Back in 1985, he was at a Beatles fest, and there was a person there selling a really cool, what they call color separations of the Beatles Butcher cover album. And He was the owner of a print shop in LA, and Capitol Records hired him to print the cover slicks for the Beatles' Butcher album. And color separations they basically look like negatives. There were 4 of them. You put them together and then you print them as slicks. And then you take the slick and you paste it onto a cardboard. And that's that's how they used to make the album covers. So this person authenticated that it was the real deal through what's called a color key. And he knew the history of this person, and he owned the print shop, and he was able to authenticate that this is a true color separation. And he bought it for a pretty penny. It wasn't cheap back in 1985. And since he already owned this now color separation, he decided to make some prints of his own, his own slicks, if you will. And he gave me one of them. So this is what that is. Check it out. The Beatles, Yesterday and Today. This is the infamous Beatles Butcher cover. And this was from a color separation. The only difference is this is 20 years later and it is printed at a different printing press. So it's a little different. But wow, this is such a cool piece of memorabilia. This is exactly like what would have been pasted onto an album cover. This is a slick. It's just printed 20 years later. And what's interesting about it is they used the same slick to make the mono and stereo versions. So if you look, like say you wanted to make the stereo version, you would look at this line here at the bottom. It's a little bit higher, and you would cut, and you would take a little bit of the legs off, and that way the stereo part would show. But if you wanted to make the mono version, you would cut at this line right here. You would cut all of that stereo darker gray part off, and you would get a little more leg. So I thought that was very cool that they used the same slick to make the Beatles mono and stereo album covers. I didn't know that, and I thought it was so interesting. This at the top says Color by Barclay, and I don't really know the significance of that, but I wanted to show it to you. This person generously gave me this as a gift. I'm going to frame it. It's beautiful. Most of you are probably aware of the Beatles Butcher controversy. If you're not, look it up. You've got to do the research because it's the most fascinating controversy, I think, in vinyl history. Just to give you a quick synopsis of it, back in 1966, they were doing a photo shoot. The Beatles were getting really bored of those mundane photo shoots, and they wanted to do something really different. Photographer Robert Whittaker brought smocks and fake babies, like baby dolls, and meat, and for some reason made this incredible, crazy, controversial album cover. They did a whole photo shoot of it, and John Lennon absolutely loved it. It wasn't that squeaky clean image. It was something very, very different, and he absolutely loved it. And at his insistence, so the story goes, they put this one on the album cover for Yesterday and Today, strictly here in the US. Capitol Records wasn't really thrilled with it. They didn't really like this idea, but they listened to the Beatles. They were their cash cow. So what the Beatles said went till it didn't, because as soon as they put these on the album covers, there was a huge backlash that led to a huge recall, and they took all of those records back up. A lot of these cardboards got thrown away, and then some of the different pressing plants got a little creative, and they took that cover and pasted over on top of that cover this. Just what the Beatles hated, these boring photo shoots, this trunk cover photo session. they pasted it over that controversial picture. And this is a Second State Butcher cover. It's hard to see, and you probably won't be able to see it here on the camera, but there, if you look really carefully right here, you can see a V shape that is Ringo's V-neck turtleneck under his smock. And that proves that this is exactly, it is a Beatles Butcher. It's that picture, but they pasted this picture over it. And for Beatles collectors and vinyl collectors, it's a really awesome piece to have. And I found this for $30 at a record store. I'm going to frame this. I'm also going to frame this now. So special thank you to the person that sent this my way. It was a very generous gift. I've actually talked to him on the phone because I wanted to make sure I understood exactly what I had. He is extremely knowledgeable, extremely credible, and wow, thank you so much for sending this my way. So that's the end of the video. Please subscribe, and if you like the video, push the like button, the notification bell. Also, I named some really cool people: Mike from the In-Groove, Patrick, the Vinyl Archivist, Chance, who has the channel Concert Buddie, and also Jason Rojas. I'm going to leave a link below to all their channels. They have great content and they're great quality people who know a lot about vinyl, and you would learn a lot from them. And I really appreciate it if you watched this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.